People often talk about women empowerment, but don't really do a lot there. Today, it is an absolute pleasure and an honor to welcome somebody who's actually a doer on that front, who has been a doer on that front, and was awarded the Mahatma Gandhi Award for her efforts on women empowerment, Miss Shalini Vadera. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's so
Thank
nice
you for
to meet you. I'm very excited to be here.
and so basically, Shalini has been in the beauty industry for a while now, and outside of women empowerment, she's also built a very fast-growing beauty brand already called Ready Set Jet. So, in this conversation, we will be talking about her journey with the brand, her journey in the industry, and her work with women across the globe, and obviously an insight into her vision of the brand and the industry. So, Shalini, let's start. If you could take us through some of your journey and if you could
Yeah.
tell us about.
I started as an entrepreneur at 19. I didn't really have a choice.
Okay.
I grew up in Southern California, but my parents are Punjabi. So my dad's from Ludhiana, my mom's from Chandigarh. So, and they're very strict, So growing up, they were very traditional Punjabi parents. So doing anything that was, of having a voice was just not allowed. You know what I mean? So at 19, my father actually sent me to India with a plane ticket and $2,000 and told me to start my own company. So
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't expecting that. And so I think I cried hysterically on that flight over thinking they were arranging my marriage or, sending me off because that was the threat because I was very outspoken. So they used to say, like, if you don't behave, we're gonna send you off, we're gonna marry you off. And so I literally thought that was happening. But when I got to India, my uncles, who are all knitwear manufacturers, obviously being from Ludhiana, they were like, it's time for you to start your own company. So, excuse me, the path of least resistance was, doing knitwear sweaters for the surf and golf industry in San Diego. We had a very big, surf industry. We had a very big golf industry. I was working with a lot of the top, surf photographers and a lot of the top golfers. And so I just decided to do that, and it worked, but I hated it. And so then I got into sterling silver and semi-precious stone jewelry that I got into Macy's and all the Marine Corps depots. But my heart was always in beauty, and that was something my parents weren't very happy about, since all my friends were going into becoming doctors and engineers and and I wanted a career in beauty. And so it was a bit of a struggle, but it worked out.
Yeah. And how's the journey been so far in the beauty space?
I mean, I've had a career now over 20 years in beauty, not to age myself, but I started at the Clinique counter. It was my very first job. I was getting a degree in international business, and I did my very first makeover. I had no idea what I was doing. I literally just wanted to be in that world. And after I, did my makeover, the next day I got a nice bouquet of flowers and a card that said, "Thank you so much for bringing back my wife. She has cancer." You put the smile on her face. And I'm like, this is what I want to do forever. And I knew the power of self-esteem. I had grown up very bullied in school from, elementary school all the way through high school. I was very bullied because I looked different than all my blonde hair, blue-eyed friends I grew up with. And, for me, I understood how important it was to not only have the gift of loving yourself, but being able to give another woman the gift of looking good, feeling good, and then being able to have that confidence so she could go out there and really smash her goals.
Okay. So, coming to Ready Set Jet, what was the inspiration behind building the brand? What was the inspiration behind getting this off the ground?
Yeah, so I mean, this is my third beauty brand that I've created for myself. I've sold brands in Sephora, QVC, Victoria's Secret, Nordstrom, Dillard's, QVC UK. Created brands for Paramount Pictures, Turner Classic Movies. I did the Baywatch movie brand, different influencers and celebrities. But the way Ready Set Jet came about was in late 2017. I received that Mahatma Gandhi Award at the British House of Lords, which was such an honor. And I happened to come to India 3 months after receiving that award. after 9 years. I hadn't been to India in 9 years,
Okay.
which is a long time, but it was my last cousin's wedding in Chandigarh, and I didn't want to miss the wedding. So I came.
Nobody should. Nobody should miss that chance.
Punjabi wedding,
Yeah.
So the day I arrived in Delhi, the government officials had asked to meet with me, and next thing I know, I was sitting down with the Supreme Court, people from Congress, and about 7 or 8 different ministers, and just a lot of these, government guys, and it was an amazing meeting. Obviously, they, had given me this beautiful pin of India and a gold map of India. They'd had a beautiful Ganesh painting made for me. So it was really wonderful to meet everybody. And then they said, look, as an Indian woman, we feel that you got to reach your full potential. Like, how do you help our girls? So I said, okay, let me think about it. Thank you. And I came back to LA after the wedding. And then about 6 months later, they came calling again, and they said, look, we've got 300 of the top executives from India coming for a conference at the House of Commons in London. And you're going to speak for 1 hour on what you're going to do for India. So I was like, okay, they're serious, and I need to get serious now. And so, I mean, I really didn't anticipate starting another brand. I was, I had Passport to Beauty on the market. I had launched a women's platform called Power Beauty Living at the United Nations, and I was doing retreats and a lot of transformation events for women, across the US and the world. So to create another beauty brand for myself wasn't in the plans, but I looked at what was happening in India, which to me was super exciting, with Amazon coming in with a, $5 billion investment specifically in beauty. And, all the girls I was meeting in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities following all the same Instagram accounts that I was following. The only difference was they didn't have access to the brands or they couldn't afford it. So I'm like, wow, there's never been a better time to really enter India now, finally, and bring products that, the Indian women have not really experienced before from a quality standpoint, from a skin tone matching standpoint, from colors that really enhance their own natural beauty. To me, that was very exciting. And from an impact standpoint, we had the opportunity of working with a village or finding like an ingredient. But to me, that didn't really, symbolize significant change. And how do we create that significant change? So I started talking to a lot of the NGOs in India, and it didn't matter if I was talking to one in Calcutta, one in Bangalore, one in Delhi, one in Mumbai. It just didn't matter. The story was the same about the lack of education for a lot of these girls, and then the lack of vocational training. And so that's when I realized that, my father and my mom had given me such an incredible gift in pushing me into entrepreneurship. And a lot of it I learned by trial and fire. I didn't have a choice, but I learned everything. And, the opportunity to pay it forward to another woman that might not have access to education, training, skilling is what really got me excited about creating Ready, Set, Jet. And so, all my brands prior to Ready, Set, Jet are really based on, my career as a global beauty authority and, using the world as my palette and really finding all these amazing beauty secrets and then going into a lab and creating products based on those secrets. But with Ready, Set, Jet, I noticed that there was this entire new generation, whether it's Gen Z, millennial, even my generation, that love to travel, right? And I'd go to Europe and I'd get on these great flights from London to Barcelona or from, the south of France to Paris or wherever, and it'd be like all these people that were just ready to hashtag wanderlust. And they were more, and here in the US too, and I think also India, you saw this trend towards people not wanting to put roots down in one area, but to really want to Airbnb and Uber the world, because they understood how transformative travel was. And so I saw that and I'm like, this is the activist generation. This is the generation that understands that it's up to us if we want to change the world, that we're the ones that are going to need to work with climate change. We're the ones that are going to need to work with really creating that impact and change. And this is the generations that's going to help me do it. And that's where, we decided to come up with Ready, Set, Jet, where you could literally ready, set, jet the world, transform yourself while also, shaping the lives of others. And so we looked at what was trending in India. We looked at what was trending all over the world. And that's really how the inspiration came for Ready, Set, Jet, that we would create a brand that we could scale globally while also taking part of the proceeds and putting it towards skilling underprivileged, disenfranchised girls, guys. I'm very inclusive. I don't care. As long as if you want to make the effort to learn, then I want to give you the tools to go out there and live your most powerful and beautiful life. And so that's really the inspiration behind Ready, Set, Jet. And obviously we launched during COVID, like smack dab in the middle. I had literally just come home I was in Delhi and Mumbai, January and February of 2020. I came home and the lockdown hit a week later. And I'm like, okay, now what do we do? We were planning on all these launches. So we did a launch in the US, excuse me, with the beauty batons, which were new, that we were actually first to market. We had made all these amazing lipsticks and eyeshadows and all for, the Indian market, and also the global market. But obviously women weren't wearing a lot of makeup, and as the pandemic and the lockdowns continued, more and more women were not even interested in doing like a full beauty routine. They weren't interested in really doing much, but they still wanted a way to feel good, to have that self-care element. So we decided to launch the beauty batons first, where I've literally taken 2 to 4 products that you'd have in your drawer and created one hybrid luxury product on one side. So like this is a hydrating face balm, but you can use it anywhere. You can use it on your split ends. You can use it on your cuticles. This was inspired by my producers in Amsterdam. They had one balm they used everywhere on their lashes if they didn't want to wear mascara to keep their brows in place. And I'm like, we got to do that. So this is a balm, but on the other side, then you're also getting a scrub. These are all waterless formulas. So again, really good for, the earth and the planet, vegan. And then every single solitary product has an anti-pollution skincare, anti-inflammation, so great for sensitive skins and anti-aging. So you're getting like, 2 to 4 products on each side of this baton. So this is replacing almost 6 products in your bag. Yeah. So because we had come up with this simplified approach to beauty, almost like the Marie Kondo of beauty, it hit. And the women here, at least in the US initially where we launched, were just buying the whole set and realizing they could do Zoom beauty literally, in minutes before they had to get on Zoom by just taking this and just tapping it, and then they're done and they look good, they feel good. And then the best part is they get to do good because part of the proceeds goes towards all the skilling that we're doing. Yeah. So that's the story of Ready, Set, Jet.
So you spoke about the social side of things, the ethical responsibility side of things, where keeping it responsible towards the planet, and the proceeds are going to a lot of. So do you think that is a very crucial component for any brand that wants to actually grow when going forward in the new age, in the current day and age? Do you think that is going to be a very crucial component for any brand that is coming up?
I think it's important. I think it's silly not to have an impact component to your brand. I mean, we really don't need another beauty product out there. I create products for so many companies. It's like, do we really need another lipstick? Do we really need another eyeshadow? No. But if we can use beauty as a vehicle for change, then we've done our job. So I think there's never been a better time or opportunity to, attach some sort of impact to whatever brand you have, because people want more. We're dealing with more savvier consumers. As founders, we want, I've done so much in my career. Like I said, there really wasn't a reason for me to create Ready, Set, Jet other than for it to be a complete mission-driven brand. Because again, we're creating brands minute by minute. So for us to have it mission-driven and purpose-driven has been a game changer as well in attracting the right investors and attracting the right audience. So as a brand, it is very beneficial to have some type of mission attached to, what you're doing. So it's more than just another product.
So, like you said, you launched in the US first, and then now that you're entering India as well. Where do you see the markets being different? What kind of a strategy adoption do you have to do when you're talking about the Indian market outside of the basic maybe the palate differences and all. Where do you think the strategy needs to differ when you're talking about that market and the Indian market?
Absolutely. I mean, from a product usability and
Yeah.
assortment standpoint, we're global, and I've always created brands that are universally appealing to every skin tone. That, it doesn't matter what your skin tone is or your skin type is. I'm going to make you a product that's amazing. India is obviously a very price sensitive market, so the formulas, because everything is customized, I don't slap my label on something from a factory. I go in with a chemist and I personally create every single solitary product. So our pricing is a little bit higher. In the US, our pricing is considered very mid prestige, but in India, we're very premium. So that's challenging us to create other products that we can swing down in price point for India, as well as products that we know are going to really resonate with the Indian consumer, which may be different than what we're selling on some of the global markets. And with India, there's such an incredible opportunity as well to attach skilling. It doesn't matter if it's, the hardcore impact in the slums, villages, disenfranchised, marginalized communities. I think after COVID and the enormous amount of messages that I received on Instagram and, Facebook and Twitter, there was a need from girls and guys across India that really wanted to learn how to become self-sufficient, not necessarily entrepreneurs, but would come to me and say, I was furloughed, Shalini. I lost my job. I need to help my family. I need to help support them. So if we can add that education aspect to the brand, so you look good with the products, you feel good because you're learning personal development as well as professional skills, and then you're able to do good through the impact, then we've done our job. And so I think, India has been a really big, has shown a really big need on the skilling side and broadening our definition of impact. Like, what does impact mean? Does it just have to be disenfranchised, underprivileged groups? No, it can be anyone, anywhere that really wants to learn how to be better in their life and how to go out there and kick some serious butt. So because of that, we've added an online academy as well. And we've got specific courses for India that we know a lot of our customers want, whether it's how to become a social media, influencer, to how to create content, to how to become a professional makeup artist. So then they can go out and start working with functions and, have the opportunity to either have a side hustle or, make it their main job.
So that was where I was going to after this question. In any case, the academy side, that's actually a very fascinating aspect of the entire brand, because a lot of brands do a lot of social and ethical things, but the learning aspect and a wide learning aspect, not just related to that one industry, that is something that really sets Ready Set Jet apart at this point. So let's say it's somebody who is in India and wants to get in touch with you and the academy. So is it simply through the website and the portals and all, or is there any other way for people to get in touch and get through to the academy?
Yeah, so we're currently in the process of building it. It's a little bit of a different approach. So like you said, it's a broader, it's not just makeup focused. Because of my women's platform, Power Beauty Living, what I realized is that there's so much more to than just beauty, right? I mean, beauty encapsulates self-care, mental health. What are you doing to feel confident on a daily basis? Who are you networking with? Who is your tribe? Are you traveling? Is that travel transforming you and inspiring you and igniting, a passion inside of you? So because we have this 360-degree approach to beauty, it's really going to give people the opportunity not only to learn a skill, but then to learn how to control their thoughts, to learn how to go out there and have the right mindset, to remove and unlearn any type of money blocks that they've put in or they've learned through their parents. For women, how do you speak up and use that voice that you've been told you can't use, as a girl? How do you use it? Because in business, it's not going to serve you well if you don't speak up, right? So those are the things that we're going to be teaching. So the academy is currently being built. And what's exciting about it is that we're bringing best in class experts from around the world. So you have the opportunity, if you can't travel physically, to virtually travel and ready, set, jet the world and work with, A-list celebrity makeup artists out of Budapest, anti-aging experts through the Mediterranean diet out of Spain. I mean, so you're getting access to the world, my world. These are people that I've had the opportunity to work with and meet that are just phenomenal. And my hope is by bringing those experiences into Ready, Set, Jet, we're able to really inspire and ignite this generation to go out there and be change makers.
So let's come to the industry aspect of it all right now. Like you mentioned a couple of minutes back, white labeling is a huge thing right now, and I don't want to name people, but a lot of celebrity-led brands are also have been culprits of that, and they're putting out a lot of different lines almost every month, so to speak. So in this horde of new things coming out just about every few days, what does a brand like yours do to still maintain its position and stand its ground and continue to grow in this particular?
I mean, I am a product creator, formulator, and brand creator for, like I said, so many studios in Hollywood, influencers, celebrities. Yeah. Very easy for anyone just to go on Alibaba and throw their label on anything, right? And I know there's quite a few brands globally that do that. I know that it's a much easier way to manage business because you're not dealing with high MOQs like we do when we're custom formulating things. Our order minimums are much higher because everything's custom, packaging's custom. I mean, we're first to market on an interchangeable technology. So we have to get the tooling done. We have to get, the lead time to make the component itself is 120 days, which is a lot. Very difficult to manage from a inventory forecasting standpoint, all of that. But what's always, been our point of difference is the quality. And we've heard this time and time again, especially in India, that, people have not experienced the quality that we bring in. And, I worked for many years as a celebrity makeup artist. I got my big break on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and that opened up a world of, celebrities to work with. And so I always create and formulate from the viewpoint of the products I used in Hollywood that aren't available to the everyday consumer. So you're dealing with, pigment levels that you're not going to find when you're just putting your label on something, super high pigment, the slip is beautiful, skincare in every single product. So all of that needs to be customized. And for us, the quality has always been what set us apart. I sold about 700,000 products under the Passport to Beauty brand. Yeah. And the 700,000, this is inspired by Spanish beauty secrets. So you can see it's an elixir that gives you this beautiful glow like you're on the beaches of Spain. Yeah. Out of 700,000 pieces, we didn't get one refund. I don't even know how that's possible, but they just love the products, and we bring very different experiential products, things that you wouldn't otherwise find, these are another one these did very well during the pandemic, but these are real gemstones. So this is an amethyst. And then we've got jade. So these are real gemstones. These took 2 years to make, but you're actually getting the vibration of the stone through your beauty routine. So we create products that are really unique and different. There's nobody on the market right now that has the beauty batons out there that allow you to interchange and customize. We tell you, from the boardroom to the beach, we're giving you everything you need to look good, kick some ass, and be amazing. But for us, it's always been community, and it's always been the performance and the quality of our products that have always set us apart. And you're not going to get that when you're just white labeling. You're just not, because the next 7 brands are going to have the exact same thing with just a different label. So at that point, really, what is your differentiator that's making you stand apart from the crowd?
True. So there's a slight shift that is happening. I mean, not all of the brands are doing this, but some of the major ones have started. Like some a brand like a Victoria's Secret has started doing that. So obviously, a lot of others will follow. The mindset and the ideology shift of the whole the beauty within, so to speak. That is what a lot of brands are, and you have been advocating that for a while now. So that is not something that is new for you in any case.
I'm always
But
the first, by the way. I was advocating global beauty secrets, and everybody's got a global beauty secret. I was advocating women empowerment, and everybody, so I guess it's great to be ahead of the curve, but but I think we saw a lot of the marriage of self-care and beauty and wellness happen last year. So I think that's why we're seeing more and more brands tap into that.
so, do you think this is as an industry overall? I mean, outside of the few specific brands that are basing their thought process and ideology around this, do you think the bigger brands can sustain this ideology for long before actually returning to their margin-driven? Uh,
It's interesting if you look at what's happened in just the last couple of years with the Me Too movement, with Black Lives Matter, with now, all these venture folks like leaning into people of color and Black, Black populations and bringing those advantages. A lot of it's talk, and no
yeah,
one's actually doing it. And I'm a big champion of like walking your talk. So, when you look at some of the bigger brands, the hope is that it's authentic and sincere, but 9 times out of 10, it's a marketing campaign.
that's what. So it feels a lot like that because we've seen these before. We've seen these turns before, but they don't really amount to any actual road. It's just turns for the sake of it. So
Right.
yeah. So when we say Ready Set Jet is standing apart, how much of it, especially in India, when it comes to it, when you're talking about the batons and all, how much of it has to do with the education side of it in terms of the product, the education around the products and the vision, because India has not seen something like this before. The so where do you think the education side and the messaging, how important does that become? How much more important does that become?
It's very, I mean, we're so fortunate, and I am personally so blessed to have attracted just incredible investors, a lot of them Indian women, that believe in the mission, the message, the education component. We're very omnidirectional as a brand. Again, like, we could have just thrown a product out and been like, we're product, but because the mission has always been about creating equal opportunities for marginalized communities and women that might not have the opportunity to go out there and earn money or to even get the education they need, it's a really, really big part of our brand. Like I said, we've got the three verticals: look good, feel good, do good. So we can't have feel good and do good. Look good won't exist without, the feeling good and the doing good, because it's the reason we started the brand. So the messaging is very important. We have a hashtag pass the baton, just like we're actually doing something with some athletes for the Olympics, because they literally pass the baton in a relay race, right? My whole idea in naming these the beauty batons was the idea of a woman passing the baton on to another woman. And what I noticed in India, and I'm hoping this changes, is that, there's this a notion that women need to compete with each other. And,
Yeah.
It's not the case. Actually, women are so much stronger when they collaborate. And I think my strategic partnership with Diksha Ahuja and Incubate is the perfect example of the power of collaboration when women come together and, the magic that they can create. So my hope is that, the idea of passing the baton and paying it forward to another woman is something that we can really get moving and grooving in India. It's really important to create that tribe of women that can help you succeed. And then also, just continuing to push the message of confidence. Confident women can change the world. And I think it's time for more women to come together to do that. And also to have great men like, Ranveer Alabadia.
Yeah.
So pushing the message of the importance of women empowerment and realizing, the sacrifices that his mom made for him. And now he wants to give back to the women of India. So we need that as much as we need women supporting women.
Definitely. So we'll start moving towards the end of this conversation. I know you have a hard stop very soon. 3 questions, most of them future driven. What next for Ready Set Jet?
Well, next and the most important part of Ready Set Jet is launching India properly. Our hands have been so tied because of COVID, so we had planned on 2020, then again, early 2021, and COVID's just been like, nope, you're not going in yet. So, we're excited to come in Q4, Q1. We have some exciting news we'll be announcing soon. So I think we'll be coming into India in even a much bigger way than we had even anticipated. So we've been in talks for some pretty phenomenal deals and what we're going to do with India. So that's really the next step for Ready Set Jet in India, is just to get there and start all of this in a really big way.
So what do you think is since we are the next big brand, so we always have this time question. What do you think is the next big thing in the industry, in the beauty industry overall?
Well, look, beauty is exploding. If you look at the numbers for India alone, it's exciting. I think it's forecasted to hit about 25 billion in the next few years. The global market size is, 500 billion, which is just incredible. So, as far as what we're going to do in beauty and what we're seeing in beauty is, the intersection of tech and beauty, a lot of AI, VR, and really just encompassing beauty in a different way we've done before. Like you said, and you even were so rightly, in your observation of, Victoria's Secret, I think you're seeing beauty spans so much wider than just a lipstick. Now it does encompass mental health. It does encompass self-care. So, feminine hygiene is another big thing that we're seeing that's falling in beauty, by the way. These brands are popping up in Nyka's and Sephora's and whatnot. So we're seeing that, there is an acknowledgement that women need more than just a product. And I think that's really going to be the next big trend we see in beauty.
Final question. We'll end on a more hopeful note. What is your one big hope for Ready Set Jet and then for the industry? The hope that you have, for the next maybe 5 years, let's say.
So the hope, and obviously going back to the mission, is that we're able to impact incredible change and ideally generational change. So that's my very ambitious goal in using this brand to create a new generation of entrepreneurs in the beauty space or wellness space. And then for the industry as a whole, I think, it's important that we redefine the global beauty standards. We turned down a couple $1 million in funding because one of the requirements was that we created a whitening skincare. And I said, no, I said, we can't do that. I can't tell a girl I can only empower you when your skin is white enough. Skin tone is beautiful. It doesn't matter if you're, really deep skin or fair skin or in between. I think that is one big standard that absolutely needs to change on what the definition is of beauty. I think that women need to be taught to celebrate and really embrace what makes them different. And the entire industry needs to understand that, it's gender neutral. We have so many guys that love our makeup. Forget the skincare. They love our makeup. And I love watching how incredibly creative they are. What does beauty stand for? What is the definition of beauty? How are we using beauty to actually create change? So there's a lot, I think, as far as the opportunity and my hope of what we see in the beauty industry as a whole in the next few years is really redefining what beauty stands for.
That's a nice note to end on, I think. Shalini, thank you so much for doing this. It is an absolutely inspirational thing you're doing, especially with the ethical side and the business side. To take them both together right from the get go is not always the easiest thing to do, and for that I applaud you.
Thank you.
And
It's very ambitious, but I don't know how to do anything that isn't, since you're the next big brand, I'm a go big or go home kind of girl. So
that's perfect. That's to be fair, that should be the case for everybody. So thank you again. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. I'm sure whoever watches it, they'll have a lot to learn from this conversation. And I wish you all the best. And we look forward to you entering India in full flow. I for sure, I know for a fact that next year, I my life will be slightly easier in trying to look when I'm looking for a gift for my wife. So that is something that I'm
we'll
looking
get
forward to
you there.
already.
Don't worry about it. No, but thank you so much for having me on your show. And, it's exciting to be able to be on podcasts and platforms like yours where we're able to continue to push out inspiration and our message on why beauty should be looked at differently. So I appreciate all your support. And we're excited to come to India. So hopefully I'll get to meet you when I'm there next.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sujay.